Today, I wanted to give you a little overview of the Power Emini alert software, which is a day trading software for futures traders. And we've had this software out on the market now for, geez, I'm losing track. It's been like 6 or 7 years, maybe 8, since we originally came up with the concept for this software. And so over all that time, we have been refining and perfecting it. And I'm going to say right about a year ago, we really, after all this work, we really kind of got everything perfected, I guess you could say. So it's about as good as it gets. And for day trading, the ES futures, or more specifically the MES futures, we actually designed this originally, and it's come a long way. It's gone through multiple iterations, but it runs like a finely tuned machine. It's airtight, and quite frankly, it's probably one of the best futures trading systems that you'll ever see out there. So there's tons of complicated indicators and all sorts of expensive training and trading rooms and all this. And so even way back when we designed the software, we took an entirely different approach. Let me start out by saying I'm going to go over some of the details on this page here. I've built a new page. Now you can see all about this software at poweremini.com, but I built a little bit of a different sort of what I guess I would call a landing page at investingsystems.com/poweremini. So you can go to investingsystems.com and scroll down to the bottom and click the link, and you'll come to this page that I'm about to take a look at here. So there's quite a bit to it, but the software itself is really simple to use. This is for, as I said, day trading the MES futures most specifically. And when you come to this page, what you'll see is the first thing that I mention is to simplify your trading. And that's a big deal because nowadays, man, I mean, if you're trading futures, there's so many complicated approaches. There's so many different indicators, and people will tell you different stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot to it. And this particular software simplifies everything, and it's an end-to-end trading system. That's what's even better is there's a little bit more to it than just getting the alerts and trading the alerts, because there's a lot of nuances that occur sort of behind the scenes. And as I mentioned, we've had this software out for years now, and it adapts to any sort of market conditions, which is really unique. So basically, it's looking to capture, like it says here, breakout price moves that have a high probability of hitting the targets, right? So this is an important point to understand about this software, and it's a point of confusion. It's a standalone Windows program, so it doesn't matter what broker you're trading with, whether you're using TradeStation or Thinkorswim or TradingView or NinjaTrader. It makes no difference what trading platform you're trading futures on. So if you are a day trader of futures, then all you need is this particular software. And by the way, so this is when you come to this web page here, investingsystems.com/poweremini, this is the very top section of the software. I actually have the live software running right now on my machine. You can see down here that today's Wednesday, November 20th. Interestingly enough, this system is essentially, it's done for the day, right? The market opened up, and I'll just go through these system notes real quick, and you may see them change. I wanted to do this little presentation here because today's an ideal day to see how the software works in a live environment without having like a bunch of extra notes. Because what's going to happen is, I mean, obviously it's early in the morning here. You can see the timestamp, so it's a little after 10 Eastern time here. When you install this software, it's going to show your local time here, and everything is real time. everything transpires in literally milliseconds, the blink of an eye. So this desktop alert software connects directly to our back-end dedicated server that feeds all this data into it. So completely platform independent, standalone software. Simple to use. Basically, the only thing it's not going to do for you is take the trades, which is good because it takes a little time to sort of understand all the nuances of the system, and we didn't want to make it an auto trader. So you can set up an ATM strategy and follow along. Real quick before I scroll down here, while we're looking at the actual alert software itself here, let me move this so that it's centered. So basically, this system is called the Power Emini Momentum System. It comes online right after the market opens, the cash session. And what it's designed to do is capture the primary trend moves of any one given session. So these system notes hit the software in real time. And so this is what's already transpired this morning. The system came online and it gave us this range, right? And so the key to it is it's a range breakout system. So the system comes online in the morning. It gives us this range, and what it's looking for is the price to break out of the range and trend in one direction or the other and hit the targets. You don't see the targets here because they've both already been hit, right? Obviously, you probably looked at the system notes. But anyway, so at 9:35 and 07, right? That's seconds right there. So at 9:35:07 seconds, it gave a short alert to go short at 59.30.50. And the entry confirmation, as you can see, occurred a minute later. It's a little bit unusual, not something I want to get into here, but we have a very specific entry strategy that we use, which is basically a 1 minute close. 1 minute close at least a tick or more past this alert price, right? So when we got this alert, which you can see up at the top here too, we got you get an audio alert. The audio's on, you can't miss it. So even if you're looking away from the screens or reading email or something like that. Anyway, when you get this alert, 59.30.50, what we're looking for to take the actual entry is a 1 minute closing price bar, at least a tick past the alert price. So the first 1 minute close that would occur at 59.30.25 or below is going to trigger in the trade, right? And so you can see right here that a minute later, the very next 1 minute price bar closed at 27.25, which was, a little bit past the alert price, but no big deal because it all evens out. The targets and stops are based on the actual fill. So this is the fill that the system took on the short alert this morning. And then, as you can see in these system notes, which have the seconds on them, as soon as we get that entry confirmation fill, it gives you an initial stop and it gives you the two targets. And I'm not going to go over this too much because you can read a lot about it on the website. You can go to poweremini.com or you can go to investingsystems.com and look for this, read more about it. So anyway, it gives you the two targets here. And then this morning, we had a really quick move down right out of the gate. And so it literally, a minute later, it hit the first target. If you look at you can do the math on this. The first target was like 4 points, right? Which is a decent little quick trade. But the idea is that on certain days, not every day, but certain days, we get these big trend moves, and the second target is meant to be quite a distance away from the entry so that it scores, really good points. And that's the whole idea of it. This system is designed to play the major impulse moves for significant points. And so the stops and targets are going to be a little bit wider than a scalper is used to. But the idea is that it's easier on the nerves we're basically, while the entry's off a 1 minute chart, once you take the entry, you want to switch to a 5 minute chart and just kind of sit back and let the trade play out. So real quick, I'll go over these system notes. We got the entry confirmation, we got the targets. The first target got hit. Then the system says, hey, move that initial stop up, move the trailing stop up. Here's a key point about this that I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. When target 1 gets hit, the trade is at break even. And so basically we have this system calibrated so that target 1 is going to be close enough in that it gets hit like 70-75% of the time so that we can get our trades to break even. And then when the price hits target 2, well, hey, that's a big winning day. So the idea is that you start off with, say, 2 MES contracts, right? You want to start off trading lunch money, and you can see that it's about 15 points here, right? 15 points target 2, 4 points on target 1, and so on a typical day, I'm going to say a target 1 is going to average between about 3.5 to 5 points, and target 2 is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 to 18 points, and that's average. Here's the thing, is the system will adapt to any type of market conditions. So when the market itself is dull, target 1 might only be 3 points, and target 2 might be, 10 points. And when the system, or when the market itself is extremely volatile, target 1 can be, 8 points, and target 2 can be 24. So, but anyway, that's a whole another discussion. Real quick, while I've got this thing running here live, note this little part at the top here, this traction. It's kind of interesting. It shows there's a timestamp for when the alert was received, and then once an alert actually triggers in, this traction shows you how many points price moved past the alert price, like a sort of a maximum, and it's basically a way to score each alert. So if the price moves against us, like say 2 or 3 points, 3 or 4 points, if the price moves against us, it's going to show us negative traction. And then over here, the positive traction is the maximum price excursion past the alert price. So basically what this is telling you is like I said, the target 2 got hit for about 14, 15 points, something like that, right? I'm not doing the math in my head, but you can see that the prices continued to go down significantly. And so the idea of a runner contract where you could capture some of these additional points is something else I want to talk about here. But real quick, let me minimize the software. So when you come to the website to check it out, read about it or whatever, you'll see pictures of the software, but I just wanted to show you that this is actually the software running live here on my machine. This is what it looks like. Standalone Windows desktop software. Basically, you just trade along with these system notes, and it's simple to use compared to everything else, and it's probably one of the best end-to-end trading systems that you'll ever see. And I'll tell you why. I mean, there's quite a few reasons, but let me just go through a few of these things here. So as I mentioned, we'll start up here. It's a standalone Windows program, so you don't have to install an indicator or trade with any specific broker or have any kind of specific platform. Whatever you're using right now to trade futures, all you need is follow along with the alerts in the software. Something else that makes this extremely unique is that you get exact specific levels for the entry, the initial stop, the trailing stop, and the targets. Therefore, this system theoretically can be traded 100% purely mechanically, although we actually recommend you use a little common sense discretion. And what I mean by that is there's certain times where you may want to use a tighter stop than you see based on what you see on the chart. We don't recommend being in a trade when the Fed announcement days or certain days. We're coming up on Thanksgiving next week, and so, maybe the market's going to be really super dull right ahead of Thanksgiving. And so, there might be days where you say, hey, this price action is just not conducive to trading. So that's what I mean. Of course, you could trade the system 100% purely mechanically, but here's the thing, nobody is going to be able to trade every single alert throughout an entire year, right? You got dentist appointment, doctor's appointments, that type of thing. So what you have to keep in mind is that the Power Emini software is going to provide a statistical edge over a long series of trades. Any one given market session is completely random, and that's how statistical edges work, right? Anybody that's been trading futures for a long time knows that, first of all, you really want to have a system. You don't just want to try and wing it. You don't want to trade 100% discretionarily. I mean, most people have, a lot of indicators on their chart or some sort of strategy, something that they're using because obviously, as we know, trading futures is tough. Actually, trading futures, I saw this the other day somewhere. It's easy to trade futures. It's tough to be a futures trader. I should say a successful futures trader. And so eventually everyone learns that they need some sort of a system and a strategy. And the cool thing about this is that the Power E-mini software is both a system and a strategy because there's actually quite a bit to the strategy. Real quick, I just wanted to mention what we're looking at is the momentum system, and quite frankly, the momentum system is the flagship of this software. Most of our users are here to trade the momentum system because it's going to give them the exact entry, stop, targets, all that. All they got to do is physically execute the trades, right? However, conceptually, the way the system works, it also lends itself to scalping, but I'm going to tell you that if you're using the Power Mini software for scalping, there's going to be some discretion in there because the market just moves too fast for the software to be spitting out real-time alerts for scalps, right? Because I mean, literally in fast markets, you guys know that you can blink your eye and the market can move 2 points, right? Literally in the blink of an eye. So the scalper is actually really super cool in the software, and we have a lot of users that trade successfully with the scalper. But I typically recommend that new users start off with the momentum system and learn all the nuances and aspects of it because the scalper is designed to be traded in the exact same way using all the same sort of strategies. It's just that the user is going to have to decide where to set the stops, where to put the targets, where to move the break even, where to take profits, all that kind of stuff, just because of the nature of scalping is different. And the Power E-mini scalper can be traded in any number of ways. So, um, yeah, so basically, poweremini.com, or you can check out this page at investingsystems.com/poweremini. I'm going to speed this up a little bit here because there's a lot to talk about. Simplify your trading. It's a rules-based system. Everything's 100% fully automated on the back end and runs in real time. It provides a statistical edge and it quants out over time. And that's something really important. Every futures trader knows that there's winning trades and losing trades and stop outs and break evens and so the idea is that you develop a strategy, you develop a system, or you trade with a strategy and a system, and your expectation is that what you're looking for is just a little bit of an edge over time, a statistical edge, and that's exactly what this provides. It's important to know that the break-even part of what this does. Remember, I told you before when we get filled on an alert and the price hits target 1, the trade is at break even, assuming that you're trading 2 contracts and shooting for the 2 targets. So the trade alerts are simple to follow. The software is easy to use. You're getting algorithmic trade alerts delivered right to your desktop. So real quick, let me scroll down here. Oh, I just heard the software. Let me pull it back up here. Oh, look at that. We got what's called a parabolic stop move alert. And the funny thing is that that is something that you don't see very often. The only time that we get a parabolic stop move alert is when the price just really gets super extended in a short amount of time, and the price action is basically parabolic, right? Now I don't have live charts up on this computer because I don't even run this software on this computer. I have a dedicated trading computer, but I wanted to go over this software with you today because it was the ideal day. I mean, everything, and so now you can see that there's a scroll bar in here, and as the day progresses, this system is, now that both targets have been hit, target 1 got hit, target 2 got hit, a 2 contract trader or a trader that's trading contracts just shooting for the 2 targets, done for the day, right? I mean, literally less than 15 minutes into the session, they're done for the day. Now, once a user's been using this a while and starts to scale up on contracts, you shoot for the 2 targets and then you go for a runner. And so, a runner contract, like say you were trading 4 contracts, you'd sell 2 at target 1, sell 1 at target 2, hang on to a contract for a runner along with the trailing stop. And so you can see up here, since we've been talking, this alert has 50 points in traction, which quite frankly is a huge move for ES. I mean, that's you don't see that very often. That's exactly what the software is designed to do, is like capture gargantuan moves when they actually occur. But I digress. Let me minimize the software again, just go over this. It's a proven system. As I said, we originally came up with the design years ago. We've been perfecting it, working on it, tweaking it, calibrating it, and it's been an interesting journey. And at this point here, the system is probably one of the best futures trading systems you'll ever find out there. We've actually got users that have been with us for 2, 3, 4 years now, quite a few. This is important. Exact trade levels with no ambiguity. I see a lot of stuff out there on the internet that's all about, like, zones and levels, and levels of support or zones and this and that. That doesn't really isn't all that helpful when it comes to a system like this, because a good trading system is going to tell you exactly when to buy and sell and give you specific price levels. And I don't know of any other ones that are kind of like that. Most trading education and services and people that have indicators are kind of giving you guidance, but the rest is up to you. And so there's a lot of discretion that comes with it. With our system, you can choose to trade it 100% purely mechanically, or you can use a little bit of what I call common sense discretion. And so basically, since you're getting the exact levels, it's simple. The simplicity will amaze you. It's the easiest to use system. Just follow the trade signals, trade with your own broker, and I want to reiterate that. If you're day trading futures, and of course this is a day trading system because it basically reacts to the price action that's unfolding in real time each trading session. Every session manifests a little bit different, the price action. And so we're trading this during cash hours, just during the cash session, and at 4 o'clock it goes offline. It starts each day fresh. It analyzes the real-time price action. There's absolutely no lag whatsoever, and you can see that. Again, I'll pull up the software here. So notice this little timer down here in the bottom right. So this is going to, I'm on Eastern time. This is going to match your local computer time. And so everything that's happening in here is happening in real time, and you can even see it's down to the second. The speed of this thing is in milliseconds. And so that's extremely useful for several reasons that I won't get into here. But anyway, yeah, everything's real time. It's being fed from our dedicated server. This is, I want to go back to the standalone software because nothing else is needed. All you got to do is install this software, which is basically just a Windows app, and it takes like 2 minutes. You don't need anything else. Everything is included. We have extensive documentation and help on how to use this thing, but I think you you have it mastered in just probably, a few days. Now, like I said, there is some nuances to it that take a little time to absorb, and so when you first get the software, we do recommend that you trade on sim for a period of time until you understand all the little sort of nuances, how everything works. As I mentioned, you get exact entries, stops, trailing stops, targets. This is just kind of a diagram of the concept, right? So this is conceptual stuff, but it should make a lot of sense. Basically, we take an entry and we put in a stop where the system is looking for an easy to hit first target, and as soon as that target gets hit, this initial stop moves up an equal distance, I should add, and this diagram doesn't necessarily reflect that, but so, say we take an entry and target one's 4 points, right? Immediately upon hitting target one, this initial stop, or whatever the initial stop is going to trail up 4 points below the entry so that the trade's at break even. And that's basically one of the little pieces of the puzzle that provides the statistical edge. Is we are looking to get trades to break even quickly, and then the idea is that if the price action in the market continues to trend in our favor like it is today, it'll hit the second target, which will be significant points, and then occasionally we'll get a trend runner day like today as an example, and you can score more points than you ever imagined. The biggest complaint, check this out, the biggest complaint of many traders is that they're unable to force themselves to stay in trades long enough to take advantage of huge moves. And quite frankly, this system, if there's sort of a little bit of a psychological factor to it. If you're trading flying by the seat of your pants and making decisions on the fly, chances are, you latch onto a good move and you got a nice profit going, and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to cash in, right? And so, or you're sweating it, right? You're sweating every wiggle on the chart. So what this provides is a framework, and if you can get in your head, hey, I'm trading along with a mechanical system, and so I'm just going to go by the numbers. And so this is the biggest thing here. This is one of the biggest advantages is if you can force yourself to adjust your mindset a little bit, well, then there's going to be days where, there's going to be days where you can catch 50 points when the market makes a move like that. And so, the majority of traders would never in a blue moon be able to hold on to a move for, that size. That's just not something that's most people have the emotional capability of handling. And so what happens is, and I see this all the time. I've been in this business for over 20 years, right? And we've spent years and years. We live, eat, and breathe this Power Emini day trading software, and so I see how it reacts to the different various price action. But most of the people I talk to are looking to scalp. They're scalpers in that, and so the idea of catching 20 something points, even 50 points or whatever is just completely foreign concept to them. But anyway, trading with a system like this is going to add some structure to your trading. You can come over here and read a lot of this. I think I'm going to kind of just blaze through this because you can come to this web page here, and I'll point it out again up at the top here. If you go to poweremini.com, it's basically the same information, but it's a little bit more to read. And actually, I encourage you to go over there. But if you want to kind of get the nuts and bolts, one page, and what I'm looking at here is our new sort of splash page at investingsystems.com. A lot of futures traders join trading rooms, and trading rooms have changed a lot over the years. I mean, now there's Discord rooms, and it used to be like trading rooms with a trade caller. And quite frankly, we originally started off with a trading room, and then decided that this alert software was a much better approach and a much better strategy. The problem with trading rooms is this: there's all different sorts of trading rooms. You don't know, you can't sit in a trading room and watch the screen all day, especially a chat room, right? You got a bunch of people in there saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There's tons of noise. Um, I'm not going to knock every single trading room, but I will tell you this: a couple of weeks of listening to the same person. Like if I was running the trading room right now, you're probably already getting tired of listening to my voice. Imagine sitting around listening to me yammer on for hours every single day. That's going to get old quick. A lot of times there's nothing to say. Sometimes the market, like yesterday, the market opened and just chopped around for 30 minutes. And so trading rooms have a lot of downside. For one thing, you can't always, the market moves fast sometimes. You can't always actually execute the trades when a trade caller, if someone's calling out trades, you can't always execute those. Sometimes by the time you think about executing the trade, it's already made the move and he's taking profits, whatever. There's not a whole lot to say. I mean, there's tons of downside. I could sit here and talk for 20 minutes about the downside to being in trading rooms, but the next thing I want to talk about is jumping from indicator to indicator to indicator and looking for the holy grail, and then and putting together your own indicators. I mean, I'm not knocking indicators, right? But at the same time, you can chase your tail for years with various indicators and still not end up with a trading system that is 100, that you can trade 100% mechanical. And so you get analysis paralysis, your charts are filled with all kinds of stuff, and in the end you're still making decisions on the fly. So there's lots of training courses out there. There's tons of indicators. There's all kinds of, different things that you can do. But basically, this is an end-to-end trading system. Comes with software and a strategy, and it's simple to use, and it's something you might really want to take a look at. Algorithmic day trade alerts. Nothing to analyze, nothing to install in your charts, just follow the system alerts, right? Simple. Trade on sim, stick to the rules. This is another little graphic of how the system gets your trade to break even quickly, and that's really, that's a big piece of the puzzle. And I've got presentations and web pages all about introducing break-even trading into your strategy. And in a nutshell, most traders approach the market or approach a trade, I should say, as a binary event. It's either a win or a lose. I took a trade, I either made money or I lost money. That's a binary event. Introducing break-evens into your trading strategy means that only 33% of your trades have a possibility of being losers. And so I'm not going to get into that a whole lot. But what makes this system work, essentially, aside from, it is the way all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. But one of the main ones is that the system is designed so that it's a breakout system. When the price breaks out of the range, it starts looking for an entry. And that's another important sort of thing. This is not just like we have a range, the price breaks out, we get in, and it's not just a simple range break system. Basically, it is a range breakout system, but When the price breaks out of the range, then it starts looking for an optimal entry point. And not every range breakout triggers in a trade too. So there's a lot of little magic things that happen behind the scenes. But the point I was going to make is this: price breaks out of the range, we get an alert, we look for that 1 minute close, and then it calculates an relatively easy to hit target one based on the current ATRs in the market. So like today, right? This alert here, 4 points, right? And it was basing that on the ATRs and the current ranges in the market. So today target one was 4 points. As soon as it hits target one, boom, that initial stop moves up and it's a break even. And so here's the thing. We have it calibrated. We have it calibrated basically for 70% hit rate on target one. And let me tell you why that's, whoops, I did not mean to click that. Let me tell you why that's important. Suppose we wanted a 90% hit rate on target one. We'd make target one like 2 ticks, right? I mean, one or 2 ticks, I guarantee, well, I don't guarantee, but this system, if I wanted a 95% hit rate, all I'd have to do is say, oh, well, our target is 1 tick. Right? Does that make sense? And so what we basically, the way that it actually works is we say, okay, we want target one to have, like, say 70 to 75% hit rate. What distance can we put it at? Can we calibrate it at so that we achieve that hit rate? And that way, when we get to target one, like today, that's 4 points, right? So that's nothing to sneeze at. Anyway, that's where the nuances I was talking about come in. Everything's based on the ATRs and the ranges in the market, so it's dynamic. When you get into extremely volatile market conditions, target one can be, 8 or 10 points. Right? And quite frankly, I mean, the stop compensates for that too. So that's what's so cool about this. Remember I said that we got a bunch of users that have been using the software for 2, 3, 4 years. They've seen all sorts of wild market conditions, right? The pandemic, when the market was swinging up and down and moving 2%, I mean, these targets and stops were huge. And then you get into summertime, dull environments, and target one might be 3 points or whatever. And the stops are tight. And so when we get into various market conditions, the system's going to adapt to, the current market conditions and the overall market environment. So basically, yeah, and the rest of this page is just kind of covers frequently asked questions and that type of stuff. And so I would actually encourage you to come over here and read this page. Just pop over to investingsystems.com, scroll down and click it, and you'll find this page, because all the details are covered in these little drop down boxes. So there you go. Anyway, I thought I would do something a little bit different, and this is a good one to read here. Several great ways to trade the system. So no matter what you're doing right now, no matter whether you're scalping the NQ futures, and actually we have a lot of people that scalp NQ and they trade the Power Emini alert software with the MES. Right? And it's kind of, you can set up an ATM strategy that basically does all the heavy lifting for you, right? So the software is going to give you an entry, stop, trailing stop targets. Set up an ATM strategy where all you got to do is click to enter at market, because that's how you trade our system. You just click to enter at market. A simple ATM strategy on your platform will set the initial stop. It'll put in 2 sell targets, and all you got to do is click to enter the trade, and then you just drag those orders to the appropriate levels on your chart. You sit back and let the trade play out, and really the only other thing you have to do is just trail the stop up occasionally, right? So that's why that's the main reason that there's almost no need for us to automate this system, right? Like everybody, well, not everybody, but I get a lot of people that say, "Oh, will this thing auto trade for me?" And I'm like, "Well, no, it doesn't for a number of reasons. I know there's auto traders out there, but literally with a simple ATM strategy, you can automate about 99% of this whole thing, and that's why there's no need for us to actually make it auto trade because there's a lot of, I mean, I'm a software guy, right? Investing Systems has been in the trading software business for 20 something years now. I've been doing this. You won't find a better futures trading system anywhere, so I encourage you, get yourself a copy of this software, right? Take it for a test drive. I'm going to say one other thing here. I get a lot of I get a lot of people that get the software and then the next day they email me and they're like, "Oh, great trade, this and that, hit both targets." I really strongly, and you'll see this in the documentation, right? Like you click this help button here, you get this software and click this help button. You want to spend, I mean, I would say the correct approach, especially for a beginner, beginning futures trader, the correct approach is to get the system and spend the first week just observing it as you go through the extensive documentation. Spend a week, right? And then you want to trade on sim for, at least based on your experience, you want to trade on sim for another week or two because the idea is that the system reacts differently to the way that the price action unfolds. And so like you see a day like today is completely different than, yesterday and tomorrow. And so you need to experience different market sessions. You need to experience various market sessions in order to really sort of get the hang of it. And that's what I'll say. So, with any new system, you're always better off taking it slow, trading small, that type of thing. So, anyway, I just wanted to take a little time and explain sort of how this works. Your best bet is to come over here and go through a lot of the material that I didn't have time to cover, or just go to poweremini.com. Same thing. This is just a little bit more condensed version here. So anyway, if you have any questions at all, you can email me at info@poweremini.com or info@investingsystems.com.